What's up, guys? Welcome to photo number 2 of my Zine 24 series that I'm doing here on my photo channel. Right now I'm actually out in the morning. It's 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday. My wife's sleeping. She probably wonders what the heck I'm doing. Got the dog with me. You see him over my shoulder here in a second. And I'm out for a walk, and I'm actually headed to this barn that's just outside the front of my neighborhood. It's this old looking barn. It's pretty cool. It's kind of rustic looking with a silo. And this barn, I think, at least for me, has been something I've always thought was cool looking. And the reason why I'm up at 7:30 in the morning is because the way I want to shoot this barn, at least what's in my head, is I want to shoot it towards the east, and the sun is up. If you look over my shoulder, right here, the sun is up right now, and it's kind of that harsh light, and that's kind of what I'm going for. So I want to see how the sun looks with the harsh light, or the barn looks with the harsh light right behind it, and kind of get that photo. I don't really know if this is going to turn out the way I think it is, but in my mind I got a certain image, and I'm going for that. So I'm up early this morning. Only one lens today. It's the 15mm f1.7 Leica lens, and that's because I want to get a wider shot, get more in the foreground. I think the 45 will work here. Even the 25 might be too tight. But we are out walking this morning with my dog, trying to get photo number 2 of Zine 24. While we're on this walk and I have some time to talk to you guys a little bit, a couple things I want to say so far. I'm only a couple days into using this EM1 Mark II, and I know it's not a brand new camera in the terms of what's out in the market right now, but this camera is actually really awesome. The stabilization is nuts, the frame rates is nuts, the autofocus, which is the reason why I bought it, is so much better than what was in the EM5 Mark II for sports and quick action stuff. The phase detection is much better. And I realized that I'm only on the original firmware version, so I think they made some improvements. I'll have to update the firmware on this thing when I get back so I can be up to date on whatever Olympus is putting out. But so far I love this camera. It's big enough to feel comfortable in hand, but it's not as big as like a full frame DSLR or even some of the mirrorless DSLRs that are out there. I held the Canon EOS R. That thing's pretty big. I mean, not in terms of like a 5D Mark IV or 1DX Mark II, but this thing feels much smaller. And then with these tiny lenses on it, which I think is where the big difference is on the lenses. So far I'm loving this camera. If you guys are thinking about it, crazy deal right now at Olympus. I'm not paid for any of this, just want to let you guys know, great camera, and I'm loving it so far. We're almost to the front of the subdivision now where that barn is, so let me see if I can avoid getting hit by a car here in a second. Alright, I'm up here at the front of the sub now. Real quick, there's this guy who owns a couple gas stations, and over my shoulder, you can see it right here. Guy's building a huge mansion. Place is insane. Kind of ruined the aesthetic of the road, but it's a nice house nonetheless. Anyways, I was worried about this, and it's super wet out right now because of all the dew, and it's springtime, but we have run out of sidewalk. So I'm thinking my shoes are to come back all sorts of wet and muddy. But anyways, the barn's right up here. It's pretty close. It's only about another 100 yards away. So I'm going to put you guys down and send you on to GoPro mode, or actually LX10 mode in just a minute. Alright, we have arrived after a nice little walk here. Not too much traffic out, so only a couple cars drove by, which isn't too bad. But here we are, and if you look behind me, right there is the barn. If you see it, it's definitely silhouetted out by the light. I think this will be a test of the dynamic range, which has never been, I won't say never has been, but if you compare to full frame, Micro Four Thirds I guess is a little bit less in dynamic range, but I think this camera and most Micro Four Thirds cameras do a great job of that still, so I'm not really worried about it. What I'm going to try and do here is get this long casted shadow. You guys can't see it, there's a long casted shadow here over the barn. Get the sunlight in the background and take a few photos. So I'm going to kick this thing over to LX mode like I said earlier and shoot some photos. Alright, so now I got some muddy shoes and I'm safe. I'm off the main road. I want to say I think the image has come out just as I expected. I got to see. I shot it a couple different ways. I shot it from further back and I shot it from up close. Set my settings to f5.6. Left it on aperture priority because I didn't think the shutter speed mattered too much on this one. ISO is set to low, so 5.6, and I created just enough of the starburst kind of look over the corner of the barn. I'll show you guys in a little bit, but this will be interesting because the underexposed ones, I was trying to expose to the sky a little bit, so I'm going to try to bring back the barn detail. We'll see how the dynamic range is, I guess, in that kind of a method. If not, I shot a couple at like a EV setting of 0 and a couple overexposed as well to see if maybe I can go the other way around. But I think underexposed is the way to go, and we'll see if I can maintain some of the highlight detail and bring back some of the shadow detail on the barn. I didn't really end up getting the long shadow one I talked about just a couple seconds ago because it was hard to get. It didn't look real good. I tried taking a look at it. I didn't like it. So anyways, put this thing into, actually I'm using Luminar. That's another topic for another time. If you guys are into photography, I got sick of the Adobe prices, the $10 a month or whatever. I mean, I still have Lightroom on my computer, but I stopped paying the $10 Creative Cloud thing. It was just irritating. So I bought Luminar. I'm giving that a try. I'll put that in Luminar, and I'll show you guys a photo in just a second. All right, guys, so I've had a chance to look at all the photos. I shot a couple different angles and looked at like the long shadows and got closer, and overall the image is okay. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but I originally shot it underexposed. I was going to bring back some of the dynamic range, and I'll show you what the original photo looks like. I'll put it right here, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I messed around a little bit in Lightroom. I didn't go crazy, or actually it was in LumaFusion. No, actually it was in Luminar. I get the two mixed up all the time. I edited this photo in Luminar a little bit, but I didn't want to go too crazy and give it that over-processed kind of like fake look. So I'll put that photo up right here so you can kind of compare the two. And at the end of the day, I didn't really like it. And so I thought, you know, maybe this is the type of photo I should go to a more contrasty black and white, because the photo had the sunburst coming over the corner and it just looked more interesting to me as a black and white photo. So I will show you the final image here in just a second, but I ended up going with the black and white. And that is photo number 2 of my Zine 24 photo series. I don't know if you guys can see out the car window right now. Yeah, but it's raining all week again, second week in a row. So third photo might take a minute, but I have like 3 or 4 more photos at least in my mind, which would take me to like 7 photos for the set that I would have completed. After that, I got to kind of look for some of the deeper stuff, or look for something a little bit different, which is going to be part of the challenge. So anyways, this is photo number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this process. And if you guys have any questions, comments, any thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. As always, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Helps me promote this channel as I'm just getting started. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See you next time.